All right, joining us today is defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. We'll go ahead and get started with questions. If you guys have questions for Coach Wilks, get your hands raised, and I'll call on you.
How you guys doing today?
First up, looks like Gabe Yarman, Power Receiver. Go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah, Coach, just curious what it's been like trying to get settled, learn your team, and then kind of put a staff together and all that on the fly and immediately start spring football. Just how wild has the last month or so been?
Well, if I could really try to describe this, it's like really standing in front of a fire hydrant with the water just gushing out at your face, to be honest, because it's just like constant movement. You get here when it's dark, you leave when it's dark. It's just been all ball. Just like what you said, you're trying to learn your players, you're trying to implement a scheme, but it's been fun in the process. I've seen the growth with the players. We're a long way away where we need to be, but we're making progress each day.
Eric Blum, Columbia Tribune.
Hey, Steve, what's impressed you about Martez so far?
Just really his leadership skills, his communication, and really trying to take control of the defense. He's a detail guy. He's a why guy, understanding or wanting to understand why we're doing certain things, which I appreciate that because that's how we coach. This is what we're doing, and this is why we're doing. I want the guys to understand that. So he's definitely taking a leadership role.
Blair Kirkhoff, Kansas City Star.
Steve, it's been a while since you've been in the college game. I'm just wondering how you've reacclimated to college football.
Well, I'm still in the process, and it's early on, just 6 practices, and it's just really getting acclimated to the tempo, to the speed. And I don't think it's so much me. I don't think it's so much the players than it is me. So I think the guys are used to it. They're doing a great job. Coach Drink does an outstanding job how we orchestrate practice and getting the different looks that we need. So it's been good for me.
Ben Arnett, KLMU.
Kind of similar subject, Coach, but you've been through this a lot at both the college and the pro level. But what is this stage like where you're getting the players used to your voice, your style, how you do things, and maybe what are the differences between that acclimation process from college to pro?
I don't think it's a big difference. I think it's a process of time. The difference is, you have those guys all day from really like 6:37 to like 5. And of course, here we got obligations with school, class, academics, study hall, et cetera. But we do a great job within the 20 hours of really trying to orchestrate things to, have good meeting time, good walkthrough, good practice. And the recall has been there. So the process is going well.
Dave Matter, St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Hey, Steve, when you're trying to figure out who plays where, how much are you looking into their past experiences, or is it a fairly clean slate because you're new and your system is new?
It's a clean slate. I'm just looking, for guys to go out there and execute, the defense, great communication. The one thing I'm looking for, we talk about our DNA, and the second element of that is being smart. So guys that can pick the defense up, go out and execute. And, so far, again, we're making progress each and every day.
Jack Sobel, the manager. Jack, can you hear me? Freeze. We'll go to Colin O'Brien next.
Hey, Steve, I was curious, the relationship with
Sorry,
Aaron.
I'm a little late on this. My computer kind of froze a bit. But Coach Wilks, what have you like? Yeah.
Hey, Jake, you interrupt Colin right there now. You jumping your turn.
I'll just finish out. Sorry.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, Steve, the relationship with Aaron Fletcher, where did that come from, and what's it been like adding him to the staff? What have you thought about, or what attracted you to him as a coach?
Well, let me say this first. The ultimate decision on who gets hired around here is Coach Drink. So we had definitely some communication on different guys that we interviewed. Coach Fletcher is an outstanding coach, a great recruiter, a great teacher, communicator, and he's shown the ability to develop players. And those are the things that we look for in coaches, because again, just like I would say in the NFL, you're not going to get a bunch of first-round draft picks. So you got to understand how to develop players, and he's shown that over the years.
Jack, are you back? Try it again.
Yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi cut out at the worst possible time. So, what have you liked from JC safeties?
Jack, you sort of cracking up a little bit. I think you said, what do I like about JC? And, athleticism, great athleticism, long, tall, great ball skills. He's making plays on the football, ability to be able to run sideline to sideline. He's shown the ability to step up and make tackles. And I like his cover skills too, because, we cover down in the slot. So he has that corner skill ability that he's transitioning to the safety position.
Mitch, 40 power Mizzou.
Coach, you've got a mix of kind of some guys with playing experience here in the secondary, and also a lot of guys, this spring especially, who haven't gotten a ton of time here at Missouri. I guess do you see, even though you're bringing in a new scheme and there's a new position coach in their mix there as well, do you see a difference in guys who have that time on the field, or is it pretty much just kind of everyone's starting on equal footing right now because of the staff turnover?
I think everyone, Mitchell, is starting on equal ground. You do see some older guys just with an understanding of being in there, for having playing time, understand the concepts of the game. But, they're all still learning the system. And we've thrown a lot at them, you know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot of mixture of what we're doing from a standpoint of man zone pressure, and, we're mixing it in on all down. So we're throwing a lot at them, just trying to figure out what's going to stick. And then, once we get through spring, we're going to go back and reteach it again.
Wilson Moore, Columbia, Missouri.
Steve, kind of a similar question. Coach Drinkwitz has said the biggest part of spring practice is individual development. So how do you balance that emphasis on individuals while also installing your scheme?
I think it's hand in hand, to be honest, Wilson. When you really talk about trying to implement your scheme and then individual development, you can see that within the process of what you're doing. So, we never sway away from fundamentals and technique. Again, I've said this for years, you're not trying to really out-scheme our opponent. We want to outplay him, and how you outplay him, I believe, is with the fundamentals and technique of the game.
Back to Gabe Yarman, Mizzou.
Yeah, Steve, just a process question for you. When you come in and you are changing the system, first of all, how much do you change in year one, or is it a process where you phase things in and fit your scheme to the talent on hand?
Again, Gabe, I believe in this right here, and this is my approach, to try to minimize the volume and maximize the execution. So we're phasing things in, and as they show to me and prove to us as coaches that they can earn more of the playbook, we'll give it to them. Because again, it's not so much what I want to do, it's what they're able to do. And we want to try to do our best job of putting these guys in position to be successful, make plays.
Andrew Kaufman, KMIZ.
Hey, Coach, I know it's early and you guys have only been out there for a couple of weeks now, but do you have a sense of what the potential for your defense could be come the fall?
You know what? I think it's early, Andrew. We still just, plucking away and just still digging. I do like the mere fact that, we're making plays on the football. We're making mistakes, but we're playing fast. And we talked about, takeaways as being our mantra. So guys are making plays on the ball. We're creating takeaways each and every day.
Greg Palermo, KTVI.
Coach, Sean Robinson made the allusion last week to emulating Budda Baker and his transition to safety. I'm curious what you would make of that, having coached him at the pro level.
Well, it's good that he, referenced Budda, and a lot of that probably is coming from just the cut-ups that they see from Cleveland and Arizona and how we're trying to utilize those guys within the scheme. I really don't get into the comparisons of players because I think everybody is unique in their own way and their ability and what they can do. Sean Robb, being an athlete, playing quarterback, making that transition to safety, he understands what it means now to flip that mindset and be a quarterback of the defense, where the quarterback is looking, what they're trying to implement with the splits and the formations and those kind of things. So I think he has an edge on some other guys just because of his ability that he's played quarterback.
Dave Matter, Post Dispatch.
Hey, Steve, I know you've talked about being excited about coaching a group again, a position group, and you're with the corners, I think. What's just kind of early impressions of working with that group?
It's been great. Again, we're just trying to, implement everything that we're doing from man zone, really trying to hone in on our man technique, because I believe in, trying to put those guys in the best position once again to try to tighten things up. Those guys have really picked up the zone concepts a lot. They played a lot of man last year, which you saw really the limited amount of takeaways because our back was to the ball all the time. Now, with zone eyes, being able to see 2-to-1, going through the route progression, getting the jump on the quarterback, I've been very impressed with how quickly we pick those things up.
Jack Sobel.
Hey, Coach. So with Kobe and Trajan out, two presumed starters on the defensive front, who's kind of been stepping up at those position groups so far? I know it's early, but who's been stepping up?
Well, I think they all have across the board, not really trying to single one guy out. Markel Upsey is doing a great job just from a leadership standpoint inside, as well as, Akil Byers, those guys are doing great inside. When you look at Isaiah on the outside, taking control, with Jeffco being out. So I'm pleased across the board with how those guys are playing. I tell those guys each and every day, everything we do starts up front. It's always been that way with me, controlling the line of scrimmage, stopping the run game and trying to create pressure on the quarterback. So we're still moving forward.
And last one, Colin O'Brien, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, you kind of led into my question, but I know Coach Drinkwitz has said the one thing he wants the defensive staff to come in with every week is a plan to stop the run. And I'm just curious, philosophically, schematically, what does that look like for you?
Well, I think it really depends on who you're playing. I can give you an overall and say that, within our defense, we gapped out, we gap sound, that everybody has a gap. It's about being disciplined and staying within your gap. 8-man front, being able to incorporate split safety at times, but it's just a mixture because when you look at, across the board, whatever level, it's very hard to limit the guys in the passing game. Guys are going to get their passing yardage. The one thing you can't do, Colin, is try to allow those guys to be able to run and pass. It's going to be a long day. So our number one deal is to stop the run first.
Okay.